Hi, all IPRA and members and friends. This is Marissa Moravik from the Mundelein Park and Recreation District, joined by Mark Dalton from the Palatine Park District and Vince Davis from IPRA. He's hiding in the background. Today, we are with our guest, Lauren, again. We had recorded this episode a couple weeks ago and had some audio technical difficulties. So we are doing part two, or take two of this episode. So we're going to roll right into it. Lauren, why don't you go on ahead and introduce yourself quick, and then we'll go ahead and start with the question.
Sure. Thank you for having me. My name is Lauren Raspanti, and I am the Director of Marketing and Community Engagement at the Lamont Park District. And I am super stoked to be on this again with you guys. So thanks for having me back.
Thanks,
first
Lauren.
recurring guest. We've only done 3 of them, and you're the first recurring guest. So
you too. Do I get a jacket or something?
We'll figure something out for you.
Cool.
Thank you for joining us again. I'm sure you really love spending all this time with us. But we'll roll right into it. You've had a successful career in the special event space. How has the pandemic impacted events, and has it helped or hurt getting the community to be involved?
I think that the pandemic has really gotten the people of our community really involved with special events. I think that during the pandemic, I think a lot of park districts and park departments really saw how much the community really looked to us for something to do during the pandemic. And we were all getting really creative with ways to do things. So I think that overall, really, our success of our events really grew from the pandemic. So we got really creative with what we did. We did more events. We listened to what our community wanted. And we really catered to what they were asking for. And we listened to them, we heard them, and then we delivered. So I think that by doing that, we really got connected to our community a lot better. And overall, I think our events have just grown even more from the pandemic. So it's almost like we can't keep up with what they want.
Nice. So when we talk about special events, you obviously talk about budgets and relationships. So how do you build and maintain that strong relationship with the sponsor, especially now with the market and everything today with budgets being as tight as they are?
I think like everybody else, we kind of make a couple concessions for people. So if they can't, necessarily give money, we will take an in-kind donation. One of my favorite kind of donations is give us your stuff instead of your money. We'll always take a product. Also, we will always trade for, you can have a table and set up and just market, especially if it's a new business or somebody with maybe a smaller budget. We will always just trade maybe time or space or just their presence by attending an event. But really, we try to work and cater each package differently for everybody, so that way it works best for them.
Have you seen more businesses pull back on funds and give more in-kind donations recently, or is it just business to business it changes?
I think business to business it changes. For example, we always thought like for our local pizza company, it'd be a better deal. Just give us pizza. That's your best deal, to give us pizza over and over and over. But that wasn't their best deal. Their best deal was to give us money for banners, to get their name out there, because people aren't always aware of the pizza that they're eating. Sometimes they'll just scarf it down or, give it to their kids, and then they have no idea where it came from, but they want their name plastered everywhere. So, everybody just thinks like, just give us pizza. It's cheaper that way. It's not always the best interest of the sponsor to do that. They always want to give us something that has their name on it, or they could just slap a sticker or something on it. So they always want to make sure that they have something that has their brand right in your face, so that way you can't miss it. So they always want to make sure that they're actually, paying for the banner, they're paying for that presence to be somewhere, so that way you can see their actual brand right in your face instead of the free pizza that we always thought it would just be. So,
yeah, that's a good point. We have an event coming up called the Goat Bingo, and I have a lot of businesses donate prizes like gift cards. So like you said, the name of their company is right in front of them, and their company is on display that entire bingo game. And then they get to go and enjoy that food because that sponsor has donated the gift card. So I love that type of sponsorship.
Yeah.
All right. What is the most memorable feedback you've received from a community member or event participant? It can be good or bad.
My favorite one of all time is during the pandemic. It was like right in the beginning of quarantine when we were all at our homes forever. We did a parade. It was our first parade around town. It was like our touch a truck event. And instead of having our touch a trucks, or people come touch our trucks in the parking lot, right? We did a parade around town. It was like 3 hours long. It was very over the top. And so we did a parade route all around town. And then a few weeks later, I got a postcard in the mail with pictures, like a collage of pictures of a family, like waving at the trucks going by. And it's a thank you for keeping us safe, but still having fun, something along those lines. And it's still hung up in my office. And it was like just a very memorable moment. And somebody took the time to make a postcard and send it to me and get a collage of photos just for their local park district employee. It just really meant a lot. So especially during that time too. So that was my favorite personalized note that I got from somebody.
It's nice that it was handwritten, a postcard versus a lot of times now it's I'm going to post on social media, or I'm going to send an email. Like they went out of their way to actually handwrite something and produce something and mail it and drop it off. And like, so I think that even goes further of like how well of a job you guys did, because it wasn't just like, I can send an email in 2 minutes to whoever I want to. Like, I'm actually going to spend some time in, recognizing them. So I think those are great. I've gotten some of those from kids in camp saying I had a great time, at camp, and I love this, and I can't wait back for next summer. And so just, it means a little bit more that you can like touch it and like post it and put it in your office and show it off.
Yeah. Like they had to, I don't know, get a stamp, go to the post office, maybe walk out to their mailbox, take a couple extra steps out of their day. And just for something that you did, it really means a lot.
Definitely. All right. So can you share a funny or unexpected moment that happened during one of your events? I hope you tell the story you told the last time, because it is probably one of the best stories I've heard.
No, I don't think that's true, but I will tell that story. It's a story of me being clumsy, and I was working an event, and working events means being safe and being precautious and making sure everything is running smoothly. And I was just working a street concert and going about my day, and I just tripped and I fell. I ended up fracturing my foot, and the event coordinator went down. There was no cool story to follow. I mean, I told people, like I couldn't even come up with a cool story. I just tripped and I fell and I fractured my foot. Nothing cool happened. And everybody's like, oh, what happened? And I had this big boot on for weeks. It was, I just tripped and fell. Nothing cool happened. It was a curb. So I wish I had a way cooler story, but that happened during an event. But I had a great team to back me up and carry on for the rest of the event. And the whole time on the way to like the hospital, I was like, is everybody okay? And I'm texting, making sure, like, don't forget to pay the band. Make sure that everybody gets sent home early and everybody goes on break. Everybody's like, calm down, we have it. So I was like still on the way to the hospital, making sure that everybody was doing their jobs and the event was running good.
Have you noticed since that incident that you prep differently? Like, do you have a contingency plan? Do you have a backup person? Like, now that you went through it, like, oh, this, everybody says it's never going to happen to me. Everything's going to be fine. Like, do you now have that as like a secondary thought now when I'm planning, like, okay, this person's in charge of this if I need to leave or something?
Yeah. So I definitely do. We had a plan before that, but it really kicked into gear after that. So it's like in the event, if I'm not there, I have a special event coordinator who runs all of the events alongside me. So she's definitely my right-hand person. But also in the event, we always have a plan. If somebody, if it's not second person, it's third person. If it's not the third person, it's the fourth, and so on. And then we have an awesome event team. We have a part-time group of staff called the Fun Squad, and they're a bunch of high school and college staff that work all the special events. So they help us set up and clean up and everything. So they help kind of make our worlds go round here. So it's usually about 6 to 10 of them working on any special event. So if I'm not there, our special event coordinator's not there, then that whole team's there to help out. And we also have our maintenance team that would also take care of anything. So, but I also make sure that I walk and I pay attention to where I'm walking, and I'm much more careful, more conscious of what I'm doing.
No more curbs. Everything's flat.
No more, everything. We just walk on flat land here. Yeah.
I love the Fun Squad. feel like that's something that I need to present to our district because sometimes we have a hard time getting high school volunteers. Like you reach out to your National Honor Society and they say that they'll do it, and you're expecting 20 kids to show up, but then no one shows up. But I feel like if they had a cool, fun name, to come volunteer for us, the Fun Squad, they'd probably be more likely to show up. So I like that.
And they really are like, I mean, it's very few hours, but it works really, really well with high school and college kids' schedule. It's only when we have special events, they get paid decent to work the events that they do work. And it really helps out during the summer and during those special events, run them when you're not there. Just kind of help with crowd control, selling food, whatever we might be doing at that certain special event. And they really did culminate from the National Honor Society. Most of them are in National Honor Society. But if they aren't getting volunteer hours, they're getting paid.
Very cool. All right. So your time at Illinois State University played a significant role in your development. How did your college experience there influence your passion for parks and recreation? And was there a specific moment from your time at ISU that stood out?
I think that Illinois State, just having all the classes and the instructors that were there at the time, they were very, very knowledgeable about what they were teaching, what they were doing. And the classes we took were just very cool. So I remember like taking different classes. The most helpful, even though not the most fun, was our Excel class. I remember like learning so much about Excel and taking a survey class and learning all the right questions to ask during surveys. And then we had a really cool class. I remember like we did like bowling and billiards. And then we like went cross country skiing on the quad one day. And then we did like a camp out like during the day. It wasn't a real camp out, but we did camp out and our teacher like played the guitar. And I was like, I don't know what this class is, but this is super cool. And I got an A in it. Not really sure what the premise is. I mean, that was quite some time ago, but it was really cool. It was really fun. It was really engaging. And I remember just being like, this is the place for me. I really enjoy it. I like being with people. I like all the different, the unique style of all the different classes that we got to take and all the different parts of like facilities and all the marketing. It was so much fun. And I just could not wrap my mind around the fact that this was a career. Try convincing my parents that it was.
Yeah, paying for 4 years of college to camp out and play fun. I'd love to see what that final exam looked like in some of those classes.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Must not have been too difficult. You passed.
They weren't that difficult. It was more like the outdoor rec classes. Those were really fun. Right. I really like those. That stuck out to me. But
okay. So last question. What does your dream rec room look like?
Oh, that's right. The dream rec room. So I think it would be it'd be a really big room for sure. Lots of windows. There'd be a bar in there for sure. And then there would be, I forgot the name of the table where you can slide the thing down.
The shuffleboard.
There'd be a shuffleboard table. Thank you, Mark. We talked about this before. And there would definitely be giant couches, TVs, streaming all kinds of great trash TV for sure. 90 Day Fiance would be playing. I mentioned that before. Diehard fan. And then I don't know if there's like limits on this, but there'd be like some involvement of a swim up bar. I was thinking about this a little bit further. So I don't like there weren't any limits or rules. So there'd be some form of that too. Yeah.
The limit is your imagination. So whatever. So we'd have a land and a water bar, basically, right?
I mean, yeah. Indoor, outdoor.
Sounds like one of those pools at the Dells where you like swim outside then to go
indoor, outdoor. Yeah.
An aquatics manager's nightmare.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I think that'd be it. It'd just be really fun, really cool place to chill with my friends.
Sounds like it. I want to go.
Yeah.
Wake it up.
We appreciate everything, all the insight and everything with special events and how you get sponsors and how do you get the community involved. And I definitely, like Marissa said, I might be stealing that the Fun Squad and that name and trying to see how we can implement that here A couple notes for everybody in IPRA. Conference registration is currently open. Awards nominations are open as well, and make sure to renew your memberships before the end of the year. You can do all that storage stuff on your IPRA portal, and hope to see everybody at conference. And maybe we'll be walking around conference and asking you what your dream rec room is. So think about that and be prepared.